Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is your girl Tashi, and I am back with another video. So I came across this video last night, right? So this video is about a young girl. I'm assuming she was in class, and she and her sister were speaking Spanish, all right? And I guess the teacher didn't like that. She didn't like the fact that they was both speaking Spanish and they're not speaking English in class. And the teacher felt some type of way. So let's just get straight to this video because this is crazy.
I have both talked to you about speaking Spanish in my classroom, and now I'm the one that's being bad because I'm asking you to meet my expectations.
We didn't,
and you're
but
not.
we didn't know that was a policy. You could have reminded
I
us.
have been talking to you about it since the beginning of school. Every time you talk in Spanish.
You just
But
say, you just tell us to stop talking.
Yes,
you don't
but
like.
why? Why do you think I do that?
We don't know.
That's
Okay,
why we were like,
two
what?
reasons. One, it's unfair to other people. You're speaking a language that half the people in the classroom can't speak. So it makes it seem like you guys are talking about them. Two, today I had a girl
What?
breaking down right in front of you guys. And you guys were giggling. And then you started speaking Spanish.
Who was breaking down? Because we don't focus on anyone but ourselves. If I'm talking Spanish to her because I know obviously no one else can understand me.
Yeah.
Okay, but why? Why do that? What is the point of that?
We always do it in
Of
ceramics
what?
and like
Yeah.
Okay, but
it's
I'm
just
not the
in,
teacher of
like,
ceramics. But I'm not the teacher of ceramics.
I know, but like
Well,
I'm
no,
not ever
we're
saying
just-
anything bad in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like, we literally just speak Spanish like in
But
general.
that is my request. It has been my request.
Mhm.
So it's disrespectful when you don't do what I'm asking you to do.
Okay, well just like next time, cause like we
No,
just
no, no.
didn't
There's
know.
not going to be a next time.
So just because we speak Spanish, you're gonna automatically think we're talking about someone in the
No,
class.
and I understand some Spanish. So sometimes
Okay.
I do know what you guys are talking about.
We're never talking
Not
about
all
someone.
the time, and I can't pick it up nearly as quickly. But I do know some Spanish.
It's not like we're saying anything bad. So it's,
That's not the point. The point is that I've asked you not to.
yeah, but we didn't know the reason. So we were
But
taking
you
it in
didn't
it. We
ask
were.
me. Kimberly, you didn't ask me. You
Because I
didn't
feel like
ask
that's
me.
something you should also tell us. You're the teacher. You're the adult. Why do we have to?
That's right. I am the adult.
Exactly.
And you are to do exactly what I tell you when it's in my classroom.
And
If
we-
I tell you not to speak Spanish, there's a reason. I don't have to give you a reason. You're supposed to do it. Now, moving forward, there will be absolutely no Spanish in my classroom. I have both talked to you about speaking Spanish.
Did y'all see that? Okay, so I don't know. Like I said, I'm one of those people. I like to hear both sides of the story. Both sides. I don't try to pick and choose. But I feel like I don't see a problem of them speaking Spanish to each other. They speak Spanish to each other. I don't see the problem. Let them speak Spanish to each other. First of all, if that was me, she ain't gonna stop me from speaking Spanish. I guess I won't be in her class. I guess I won't be in her class because you're not gonna stop me from talking to my sister in Spanish. So what's the problem? And she's saying that it's not fair to the other kids. Is the other kids having problem with it? Like, so what if they're speaking Spanish to each other? As long as they're not interrupting the class. As long as they're not being loud, and I could understand that. But if they're just if they could talk to each other and they talk to each other in Spanish, I don't see the problem. I feel like this teacher is doing too much. I just don't get it. I don't get it. You're not allowed to speak Spanish. Like, wait, what? I don't know. Let's continue with this. This is so crazy. I want to see what people are saying. So I did read some of the comments here, and people are like, okay. So someone says, move forward, keep speaking Spanish. Yeah, please. Someone said report her to the principal, and don't let her stop you from speaking Spanish. Of course, exactly. Like, wait, what? Someone said, I understand some Spanish. Okay, and who cares? Okay, congratulations. Anyway, let's continue.
Punishing or prohibiting a student to speak their native language in your classroom simply because you don't understand it and you're making assumptions that they're speaking about you or others is a violation of federal law. It does not matter whether they can speak perfectly good English. They have the right to speak whatever language they want. And for those of y'all that are defending the teacher saying it's disrespectful, she has right, let me show you what federal law says. This is directly from the government website. It is Title VI under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So it says, Title VI prohibits discrimination based on race, color, or national origin against students of any religion when the discrimination, for example, involves race, ethnic, or essential slurs or stereotypes, is based on a student's skin color, physical features, or style of dress that reflects both ethnic and religious traditions, or based on the country of origin where a student is from or is perceived to have come from, including, for example, discrimination based on a student's accent or name, student's limited English proficiency, or a student speaking a language other than English. Read that again. Or a student speaking a language other than English. These teachers really be on a power trip and really having their hate on full display. In all my years in education, I have never been so pressed about what language a student chooses to speak in my classroom. They can speak whatever language that they want. At the end of the day, they are protected federally. And if you're an educator who works with minority students who speak more than one language and you feel so bothered by hearing anything other than English, ask yourself why that is, because you need to unpack that.
So y'all heard that. I already know this. I didn't even have to read all of that, but I already know. Like, that is crazy.
Now the kids can't speak Spanish in the classrooms. Listen, okay, two young girls, friends, sisters, don't know, okay? They were speaking Spanish to each other, and the teacher walked up to them and said, listen, okay, you can't speak Spanish up in this classroom, okay? The other students don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. You just can't do it up in here. And the girls was like, why can't we speak Spanish to each other? And the teacher was like, because I said so. Just quick question for the teacher, right? In this economy, you willing to risk your job like that? Because I promise you, they finna pack you up and get you up out of here faster than Amazon Prime delivery, okay? On Prime Day, they is finna find the school, the teacher, the entire administration, okay? Because who are you as a teacher to be telling somebody that they can't speak Spanish, okay? Mind you, if I was in your classroom, I don't speak Spanish, but I would go out my way to learn every cuss word in Spanish just so I could come back to class next day and cuss you out.
So now the students can't speak Spanish in class? So I just seen a video with the teacher confronting two students about speaking Spanish in her class. Basically telling them that she didn't already told them previously that they need to only speak English in her class, that they need to stop speaking Spanish. And I guess during this class, they were speaking Spanish to one another. So she's confronting them. I don't even think she knows that she's being recorded because the camera is on one of the girls. So we see her reaction to the teacher chastising them about speaking Spanish in the classroom. And the teacher is going on a whole tirade about, we don't know what you guys are saying, so you shouldn't be speaking Spanish. We don't know if you're talking about them, or they don't know if you're talking about them. So that's why you need to show respect and basically speak only English in this class where everyone can understand what you're saying. Ma'am, you doing way too much. You don't have the authority to tell those kids whether or not they can speak Spanish in the class. Clearly, there's no lesson being taught. There are sidebar conversations going on in the class. So this is downtime or whatever is going on at the time in this class, that those two girls are interacting with one another. And if they want to speak Spanish, then goddamn it, they can speak Spanish. Point blank, period. You can't dictate how those kids interact with one another just because they're bilingual. We're the only damn group of people that don't know multiple language as Americans. But you sitting here trying to tell them they can't exercise their right to speak how they want to speak. Like, come on now, y'all. I'm gonna tag the video so y'all can see this mess. That lady was out of line with how she was talking to those girls. And if I was those girls' parents, I would be reporting her not only to the principal, but to the damn Board of Education. Because, lady, you are out of line. The tone of your voice, how you were speaking to those kids was unacceptable on so many levels. Y'all go watch the video, come back so we can talk about it. I done halfway got mad watching that damn video.
You're speaking a language that half the people in the classroom can't speak. So it makes it seem like you guys are talking about them.
You cannot tell people to not speak their firstborn language just because you don't understand them and you assume that they're talking about you or someone around you. Just because you don't understand does not mean that it's bad. Just because you don't understand does not mean that they're talking or picking on anybody. It's the first language that they learned. I so desperately cannot stand people who make others around them feel like they need to conform to their comfortable. How dare you? Who are you to make them girls feel like they need to do what you want them to do solely for the comfort of the people that don't speak the language that they do? And it's such a dangerous thing to even implement in a learning environment, because that just tells the students around them, well, if I don't feel comfortable with a person speaking a language or indulging in a culture that I'm not familiar with, I could just tell them, well, stop. You can't do that due to my own comfort. This doesn't make me feel right. This doesn't make me feel comfortable, so you need to not do that. Regardless of what language they're speaking, if you don't want them to talk, tell them not to talk. And that has nothing to do with the language that somebody speaks. If you just don't want people talking, then just say, stop talking. But to assume because somebody's speaking a different language that they're talking about something bad, that don't look good. Considering that there are people, specifically Hispanic people, that get hate crimed in public when they speak their firstborn language. You are a teacher, Miss Ma'am. You out of all people should know that.
Yeah, she's bugging. Something is wrong with that lady, because what make her think that it's okay to tell them they can't speak Spanish? Like, wait, what? That's crazy. I work with kids, and I have worked with kids who speak Spanish, and I never once told them, hey, don't be speaking Spanish. Speak English. Never came across my mind. You know what I'm saying? They having a conversation among each other. I never stopped them from talking Spanish. That's their language. I can't tell them to stop talking their language. Like, it's so crazy to me. Now, I could tell them to stop talking if they're interrupting the class and, and we're doing something and they're making noise. That's different. But if all the kids are talking to each other and they just happen to be talking to each other in Spanish, I don't see the problem. I don't see the problem. Like I said, if they're interrupting the class and they're being disrespectful, then that's different. But to tell them they can't speak Spanish because the other kids don't understand is crazy. They don't need to understand nothing. What the hell? What's going to happen if it was two deaf people in there who happen to be deaf and they're using sign language? You're going to tell them they can't use sign language? Hey, don't do sign language. Not in this classroom. You cannot use sign language. They're going to have to talk. Like, wait, what? I don't know. This whole situation is crazy. So comment below. Let me know. Do you side with the teacher? Do you agree with the teacher? Do you think what she said was true and she's right? Or do you agree with the kids saying, hey, or I don't know. Let me know. I'll see y'all later. Peace.